Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a massive pickups. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since I posted a video. I've been pretty busy. It's been hot. Been a few things on, but I've got lots of stuff to show today. I'm not going to do it individually because it's just too much. I've got some comics, video games, some hardware, some art. So there's plenty to see today. So I'm going to switch the camera around in a minute and then we'll go through all the items that I've got. I've got a Facebook Marketplace pickup of an Xbox 360 games. I got some pulps, old vintage pulp mags from the 20s, 30s and 40s, and even some in the 50s. I got some horror magazines, some comics, some random sort of stuff. If you know me, I love to collect peculiar and obscure stuff. So we're going to go through some of that. And I got a couple of pieces of hardware yesterday. So I'm really, really happy. I've been setting it up yesterday, cleaning up most of it all and getting it set up again this morning. And now it's time for a break, having a beer. So I've got a nice Cooper's long neck keeping me company all morning. So ready to go to show you a few things. Yeah, so buckle up and hope you enjoy it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscription button and hope you like the content because we'll be doing a lot more of this stuff. And especially as the weather gets a bit cooler, it's so hot. So you sort of lose a bit of motivation or sort of, energy to do things. So yeah, when we get into the cooler months, plenty to do, plenty to see, lots of projects underway. So we'll go through a few of them today. And yeah, thanks for that. Right, we're going to switch the camera around and then yeah, we'll go through it all. Right, we'll start on the right hand side here so I can move everything over with the comics that I picked up. Got all these from an online shop in Melbourne. So the first one here is Skull Comics 3. This is an Australian edition by Last Gasp. This is from 1973 and it's a really good condition book for how old it is. Really sort of obscure. If you look at the original American cover of this, it's completely different and some really nice art inside. So that's Skull Comics 3. I think the Australian did 1 to 5 of that. The next one is from a really indie label called Comax. I think it's from just the one creator, Butch Burcham, or I think he went under another name. What was his other name? Anyway, I can't think of it at the moment. This is Amazon's, just real sort of strange stuff. I guess it's back in the 90s, like early 90s. This one was actually signed on the inside by him. And there's another one as well. This is Space Siren, so it's got a bit of a Dave Stevens like. This one was also signed on the inside. You can sort of just see that. When I saw it, I thought that's signed on the inside, and it was. It's a really strange book because it's like the comic comes to about here and then the cover overlaps. So again, just a sort of a weird, interesting. I like the cover and I just like getting strange stuff. So that's Space Sirens. A lot of these books only have one issue. There might have been like 25, 30, maybe even more from that label, but yeah, there's a few other odd ones I might pick up. This is another book from Last Gasp. Sexy Stories from the World Religions. So again, there's I think there's an anthology, lots of real small short stories, crazy art, crazy stories, weird stuff. So I just saw that and thought it'd be interesting, from whatever way you want to look at it. So there's that one as well. And another one's Spicy Adult Stories. So this one's basically more reprints from the 1930s pulps. So there isn't as much art in here, it's mostly sort of short stories. So I think it's 1 to 3 of this. So I thought I'd get the first one because I did like the cover. So yeah, that's Spicy Adult Stories #1. I don't think it's as erotic as they say, if it's from the 30s, if you know what I mean. This one's an Australian price variant. I've been wanting to pick it up for a long time. This is Wolverine 50. It was listed as a 9.2 near mint, and I'm like, oh, well, I wanted to get it CGC'd and I will. And I thought, you know what, I'll just get it. If it comes back a 9.2 or a 9.4, I'll be happy. But this book is just so clean. I honestly think it can get a 9.8, this one. So it'll be a really good sort of prospect for a good sale. So yeah, the back was also really, sometimes you can turn the book over and just go, oh no, it's all over. But this one was really nice. So this is one of those classic sort of gimmick covers from the 90s with the die cut sort of cardboard cover there. You can sort of see Wolverine ripping through the file there. So yeah, it's another one of those sort of popular issues from that time. All right, that's the sort of the comics. Then I got a few horror magazines. So these are Australian horror magazines. So I picked up 4 off a different online shop in Melbourne. This one's Ghost of Terror. I like to collect these grey downs, but I also like to try to collect them in fairly good condition, because you can get them on eBay easily, but they're really usually always in terrible, just poor condition. So I saw these 4 and I thought, you know what, I've been looking at them for a while, like just get them, you know what I mean, because it's a good opportunity. I love that cover, Ghost of Terror 7, nice skull cover there, sick. And then this one as well. This one was selling for like 90 bucks online. So I thought I paid 30 for it. This is Australian dollars. I paid, and I thought maybe I could flip it. It's in pretty good condition, better than the ones that have sold. I was hoping for it to be a bit better, but the sort of the top was cut a bit rough. So I'm not sure if that's from the machine or just from maybe how the way it was stored. But other than that, it's a really nice issue anyway. It's got number 1, but there was only 1 issue in this series. These books that are 55 cents are probably from like the late 70s. I'm guessing maybe 78, so you can just tell by the prices. So that's freaky there. Nice colours, as you can see. Nice yellow. There isn't too much, you know, writing on the cover of any of these. You can see there's a 10 cent or number 10 there. That might, I don't know what that could mean, anything, but yeah, nice colours, nice white. And same with the next one as well. Some of these books had the whitest pages I'd ever seen in a grey down, especially this one. When I opened it up, I'd never realised they were that. I always thought they were just off-white naturally, but when I saw this, I'm like, okay, there are some with really white pages. This one's Screaming Terror. This is probably an early 80s one. You can see by the dollar cover price, but they are a little bit larger in content with these. So that's Screaming Terror. That's a no number, so that's just a one-off. Nice cover there. And then underneath that is Weird Tales of Werewolves. Another one. This one's a 55 cents, so this might be like 77, 78. So again, just good cover, good colours, good condition, especially with these black covers. You can sort of see the nice sort of, you know, corners on them, not dinged, not rounded, just nice and clear cut. So that's those 4 grey downs. And under that, there's a couple of movie adaptations from the 80s. These are federal books, so these are Australian ones. I didn't even know Sheena had a movie, so. Yeah, and after that, I'm going to be hunting it down on the VHS just for a bit of fun, just to check it out. So this is Sheena. These weren't in that good condition, but there's actually a few movie pictures inside. It's real funny. So yeah, that's Sheena. And the other one I got was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So that one was also not in very good condition. I think I paid 20 bucks each for those Australian. So that's that. Excuse me. Now over here, I got all these pulp mags. There were 2 separate auctions going on eBay, and they finished on a Wednesday morning. And it's very, very rare, very unusual to find these things in Australia. So I sort of jumped on them and I looked at them and I'd watched them and I bid it. And I got them, you know what, I picked them all up for $60 delivered Australian, which is maybe 40 US dollars. I couldn't believe it. Like one auction, I think there was 19 books in each auction. And yeah, and I couldn't believe it. So I picked one up for like $15.50, the other one was $17.50. So then plus the shipping, which was like 30 bucks. And there's such a good variety in here too. There's some sport, as you can see, but when I say sport, you can see there's some baseball, but you also get some football as well. You know, there's a bit of science fiction there, famous Fantastic Mysteries, some Western, Dime Western magazines. I went through and tried to sort of look up the books and see what dates they were off my comic shop, and you know, it's crazy, man. 1939 for that one. They weren't in the best of condition, but you know what, I want to do shows and cons and markets and stuff in the future, and I think I could definitely get my money back with some of these. Look at the size of this Amazing Stories. It's an absolute monster. You know, it won't even get a bag in it. So yeah, again, you see, and just different titles too, like Lariat's Story Magazine, Cowboy Life from Romances. So there's romance, sport, even some crime stuff in here as well, sci-fi, and there's, yeah, I'll just quickly go through a few of these just if you're interested in pulps. I love them. That's the smell is really, it just smells like a really old bookshop, you know what I mean? And there's a few I don't even know about. That's one of the classic sort of covers. Enoch Bowles and Breezy Stories, and some Western, and yeah, there's a few other ones, Planet Stories, some nice covers. They present well, even if they are pretty dinged up. science adventure books. It's just really stuff that will sort of capture people's interest and sort of curiosity, I think. These are ones that are back, these Aces books were from the 1920s. I didn't have the labels for those. I ran out of labels. Yes, anyway, if you're interested in pulps, Wonder Stories, Planet Stories, Wonder Stories again, Thrilling Sport, Exciting Sports, that one, sorry. G-Man, one of the sort of a crime, Federals in Action book there. Great War Adventures. I don't know too much about this one. It might be a UK book. I couldn't find any, well, I think it is a UK. You can see it's got that one shilling. Is that shilling? I'm not sure. And yeah, I couldn't find any dates or anything in that. The earliest thing I can see was 1913, but it doesn't seem to fit that earlier title. And there's look at that science fiction magazine there. All right, so that's all the comic-y sort of stuff. And I did get a couple of pieces of art. And if you're a gamer, you'll recognise this, Another World, that classic, that classic game, that classic image of him there. This is postcard was from the 20th anniversary box set. So I've got a sealed copy and I've also got a normal copy. I was going to get all 4 of the postcards framed in one piece with flashback, and it's also got the characters, but I thought I'll stick with that. I decided to go with a simple black matte, and I tried to sort of match the orange moulding with his hair. So I haven't hung that up yet, I only got that yesterday. So that's one piece of art, so I'm really happy to get that. I don't get art framed very often. It takes so long to order in the moulding. And yeah, so anyway, always happy to pick one of those up. Another piece of art that I got this week was the famous Frank Frazetta Egyptian Queen print. It wasn't the right, I must have just not thought about the size. It's an A3. I really want something around about A1, so I might just leave that one the way it is there and get another one. I've got a spot for it in the room next door on the wall, so I want to do that one. But yeah, that's one of my favourite Frazetta pieces. Just love it. It's really, really awesome. Okay, so we move to the writing. I got a message from a seller that I'd bought some stuff off before, and he said, I've got a few other things here if you want them, and I said, okay, how much price? We sort of negotiated. So I got these 3 items here. I got a Game Boy Color. I got another one. That's the second one I've got that tight. I sort of wanted to get it to compare the screen to the other one, wondering if that's, I don't think they're very good quality at all, but anyway, they're exactly the same. So I got another Game Boy Color, and I got this Super Game Boy Power version for the Super Nintendo. So now I can sort of, I didn't even know these existed, so I can check that out. And there's the unit there. It's all block, so it's not too bad. And finally, my first Pokemon game. I don't have anything Pokemon. I'm not really into Pokemon, but you know what? If I was going to play any Pokemon, I'll play the original on the Game Boy there. Okay, on the next one here, this is the Facebook Marketplace pickup I got of the Xbox games. This was from a seller about half an hour away from me. Anyway, I went to her house. She wasn't there. I waited for the time frame from 9:30, like I told her, and she didn't come, so I just left and just did some shopping. Then she texted me, oh, it's an emergency. I had to go out. Can you meet me here? And I was already in the area, so I said, yeah, okay. When I went there, picked these up, and I was unboxing them yesterday, and I'm like, man, I'm sure there were more. I was sure, because I counted like over 30, and I saw some loose discs as well. So I messaged her back. I said, are you sure there's not more? She goes, oh, I forgot, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not sure if she was just trying to rip me off or whatever. But anyway, now I've got it organised to go over and pick them all up again. There was a controller with it, which is cool as well. I paid $100 for all these. I think there was like 30 to 35 games all up. And funnily enough, I also got the AC adapter as well. I just bought another one for my NTSC Xbox 360 because I didn't want to risk it. But there's a lot of Assassin's Creed games in there. You can sort of say just most of the generic, or not generic, but just the classics for that title at that time. Okay, next to that, I've got a few PlayStation 2 games. I was watching a YouTuber and he was talking about if you were starting a PS2 collections, what games could you get that were cheap and good value? And he said there's plenty of player time on these. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to get some Grand Theft Auto for my PS2. And I hadn't bought a PS2 game for a while, so I had a bit of withdrawals there. So I quickly checked eBay, and there was a listing, an auction ending in 4 hours, and had a trio of mint Grand Theft Auto games. So these ones have got, I can't do this as one hand. These ones have got the map as well in all 3 issues, in all three copies. So it's really good. Yeah, they're super clean. So that's I paid, honestly, I paid like $32 delivered for those. That's Australian, so it's maybe like 20, 24, $23 US. So that's good. That'll give me plenty of play time. I've never really played any Grand Theft Auto, as I just said, on the PS2, so that's good. And finally, on this side here, we've got Skyrim VR. Now, I got this because I thought it's one of my sort of favourite games at the time. I got it on PC when it came out. And yeah, and when I saw this as VR required, and it's PS Pro Enhanced, which we'll get to that in a minute, I thought if I was ever going to play a VR game or ever imagine how a VR game that I'd love to be a part of would be something like Skyrim. So I wanted to get this. So this is a really good copy. I got this as obviously a pre-owned copy, but it's got the manual. It's really nice condition, so I'm happy with that. I think I paid like $25 or $24 for that one. So that's pretty much all that I've got in this room here. All right, we're going to go out into the other room. I'll just show a few other things that I picked up. I'm very, very fortunate that yesterday I got a PlayStation 5 and I also got a new Bravia as well. So I had the old Bravia for like 15, 16, 17 years and it still works, but it's got a few spots on the top. So I just wanted to get something updated, get 4K, and then obviously with the PSVR 2 coming out, I wanted to just take gaming to another level. And you know, I made a really good sale on the weekend on eBay, and that pretty much paid for that PS5 right there after all the fees and postage and stuff. So yeah, and then this morning I got the PS4 Pro set up finally, so that's all really good. I cleaned up the consoles, the PS3, the BOS, and yeah, did all the wiring, redone for the Pro. It took me a while to get it all set up. They had to remove the old user and get the internet set up, which was a pain. It took me like over an hour. Anyway, that's just me being hopeless. So now I get to retire this old beast. It's been really, really good to me, but yeah, it'll go to bed and be nice and relaxed. So yeah, that's it. So we got the PS2 VR on pre-order, PSVR 2 on pre-order, so I'm really looking forward to playing that and just getting into that as well. So this afternoon is going to be a bit of Skyrim. I just put it in this morning, and I'm also downloaded Ragnarok yesterday, so I want to give that a bit of a look too. So, and then we've got some projects going on in the other room here. So I've got my old Bravia here, which I cleaned up this morning. It's still a beautiful TV. It weighs a freaking ton. I nearly broke my back moving that yesterday by myself. Stupid. But what I want to do is move my two cabinets over to this corner here, and I want to get a nice bookshelf or some shelving set up here so I can put all my PS4 games in there and have the Bravia on top. And then I've got some consoles like my Dreamcast that I want to set up in the Pandora. I want to set up there with my Xbox 360 and things like that. So that's a little bit of a project that's coming on too, and I've still got to put my NBA Jam somewhere as well. So yeah, so stay tuned for a bit of that. All right, well, I'll just take it into the other room now. We'll finish off the video and then, yeah, off we go. Hope you liked all that stuff. I've got the pleasure now this afternoon of putting it all away, filing the comics. I'll probably put the pulps in a container and take them out to the garage. They take a lot of space, those things. Yeah, I've got to clean up the Xbox 360 games. They've still got a few stickers on them. I want to play some video games, as I said, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun afternoon. A little bit of music, then do a bit of that. Now I've got 2 CGC submissions coming back Thursday. Today's Tuesday, the 6th. I'll probably try to open them up after I get home from work, either Thursday or Friday night. I've got to figure out how to fit it in. I've got a busy week next week. The Super Bowl's on Monday, obviously. Tuesday, I've got the electricians here, so more pain in the ass sort of stuff to put up with that guy. So anyway, that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel. I haven't had a subscriber for a few weeks, so it's always a bit of fun to sort of see it go up instead of go down. So anyway, thanks for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your week, and talk to you next time.